You look pretty today. You flinched at the sudden voice behind you. You sighed in relief when you saw that it was only your boyfriend, Taehyung. Oh my god, you scared me. You chuckled as he smiled and came closer to have you in his embrace. You don't look so bad yourself. You chuckled and running your hand to straighten the edges of his suit. I wish we could stay like this. He blurted out, and although he was smiling, there was that tiny flicker of sadness in his eyes. After all, Taehyung was not your boyfriend first, he was your bodyguard. Being the daughter of a well-known business tycoon, you needed some security. In fact, your father was concerned enough to hire someone who will understand and protect you and also to be fronting with you. It worked out better than you ever imagined. I'm right here now, we can stay like this. You tried to make him feel better about the whole situation. We have a long day ahead of us, 5 more minutes like this, and then we have to go. He embraced you even tighter as if you would just vanish. Well, Ryan, this is Mr. Park's son Jimin, and we know you guys were good friends in your childhood. Your father stated. You smiled lightly, unaware of where this was going. I think it would be nice if you guys could spend times together. You nodded your head as you and Jimin headed out to the balcony. Taehyung was right there on the side as he looked at your father for the signal to follow you as your bodyguard. She's with Jimin. He's not going to give her any trouble, your father said as Taehyung stayed on his path. He wasn't ordered to follow you, but this time he really wanted. It wasn't jealousy, or maybe it was. It was hard to decipher when he was playing two contradicting roles for you. About an hour passes as Taehyung got impatient. He was aching to see your father to get up and decided to leave the park estate so he could come looking for you. Your father indeed did declare it was time to leave, and with that Taehyung came to find you through the halls, his heart thumping really loud for some reason. He followed the faint laughter that led him right to the balcony you and Jimin were on. You were standing right in his embrace. It was a way Taehyung would often hold you when the both of you were alone. Jimin's hand was around your waist as you comfortably laughed with him. He couldn't take it. A lot of times he really did wish he could tell the world you belonged to him, so no one could come near you, but he couldn't. Taehyung coughed loudly to get your attention. You had a great time with Jimin, and he reminded you of how you were when you were kids. He was frankly the only friend you would ever had, seeing as though you were homeschooled. Oh Jimin, this is my bodyguard Taehyung. You introduced the men who were very important in your life. Jimin greeted him, but Taehyung just staring at him. Let's go, Miss Ryan. He gave Jimin one last death glare before you both left the balcony. You don't know what had gotten into him to be so rude to Jimin. Take care, Ryan. Your father kissed you on the forehead. Taehyung bowed to your father as he left you in the house. You and your father didn't live in the same house since he had to live further out for the sake of his work. You did love your father, but as an adult, you would finally gotten some privacy, and it was even better since Taehyung would be with you. You looked at the time, silently smiling at the fact that you still had a lot of time before you would go to bed. You turned around to him. So what are we doing today? Cuddling on a movie or baking something new together? These were your most cherished time because you got to spend it with Taehyung as your boyfriend. Sorry, Miss Ryan, I'll be heading to bed early today, he stated. Taehyung, we are alone, you don't have to be my bodyguard. You said, because you really hate when he is calling you Miss Ryan. I'll take my leave. He bowed to you before he went off into his quarter. Whenever you and Taehyung are alone, he never calls you as Miss YN, but when he gets mad, he would call you like that. You know you make him mad, but you don't know the reason at all. You knew Taehyung was stubborn, which meant if he was mad, he would stay mad no matter what you tried. You eventually ended up going to bed early, even though it wasn't the same with Taehyung next to you. For the first time in a long time, he was sleeping in his own room as he tossed and turned recklessly. You guys had become habitual to each other's presence when sleeping that it almost felt like wrong to sleep alone. Not being able to help himself, Taehyung came to take a look at you, only to see that you were sleeping and you were safe. He did admit that he was overreacting to the whole situation, but what was he supposed to do? Your relationship with him was already shaky in the sense that he had two different personas to uphold around you, so it was super easy to become insecure. He tucked your blanket around you a bit higher, as it was slowly yet surely falling off your body. He left a quick peck on your lips, letting his hands run through your hair. "Good night, my princess," he said before he left. You woke up early in the morning because you wanted to be the one to make the food. Usually it would be Taehyung because he really enjoyed cooking, but you wanted to do anything, so he wouldn't ignore you today. Taehyung entered right now when you had placed the food on the table. "Good morning, Taehyung." You desperately hoped for a reply, but instead you got none. He sat down on the table, already munching away. Must have been because he was hungry, but either way, he had completely ignored your presence. "So, what are we doing today?" You asked, trying anything to get him to talk, but he quietly kept eating, not even sparing your glance. "Do you like the food?" Once again, no reply. You cut right to the chase, hoping he would talk to you then. "What did I do? Please just talk to me." The sadness in your voice was evident, but again he only got up, taking your and his plate to wash it in the sink. This was your chance. You wrapped your arms around his waist as he was washing the dishes, knowing he couldn't resist your touch. Yet just with a wiggle of his shoulders, he had pulled you away. These past 2 days, Taehyung was only talked to you in front of your father as your bodyguard, and soon as he came home, he turned in to be your boyfriend and giving you the silent treatment. You knocked on his room door as he quickly did open. Even if he wasn't talking to you, he couldn't leave you hanging because it could have been an emergency. His first and foremost priority was to protect you. "Talk to me." You crossed your arms, staying firm on your spot, not planning on moving anytime soon. He planned on shutting the door on your face, but you didn't let him, letting your foot slide through as he was about to shut the door. "Please, just I can't stand you ignoring me. You know that we already have such less time to spend together, and I'd rather not it go wasted like this." You tried your best to reason with him as he let out a sigh. "You were so close to Jimin that day, like you were with me," he said. "He's a friend. We are just very friendly together," you explained. "Is he really a friend?" Taehyung didn't look like he believed you, which somehow angered you. "Yes, Taehyung, he is. You are being childish about this whole thing," you replied. "I am the one being childish. Sure. You can't even stand up to your dad to tell him about me." He bitterly chuckled. "We talked about this when it's the right time." You tried to stay calm, taking his hand in yours, but he yanked it. "The right time? When's the right time?" "When you are older and married, and I'm still there as your bodyguard. I can't do this for long while." I hate seeing you so friendly with everyone else, and I am just a shadow on the side. I want to be there for you all the time, holding you, and it's just. His words were caught in his throat as he tried very hard not to cry. All you wanted to do was hug him. I don't think we should be together, he blurted out as your eyes widened. I'm breaking up with you, Ryan, he said, and you could feel your heart shattered into a million pieces.